What's happening, HC Nation? Hey, Zach Edwards here. I got something really cool that just came in. It is the, just so you know, the background, and it's a little cockeyed, is that my content writer started writing about the American Revolution, and she wanted to see what kind of tea they produced back then and what it looked like. Now, she's not a big tea drinker, and when I asked her if she wanted to have them back, she's like, no, we just use them for the display. We'll just show it to people. So she bought us some actual tea from back in the Tea Party, or the Boston Tea Party. So this is done by the Mark T. Wendell Tea Company. So they've got a history of it back here as well. And I accidentally closed this. Okay, so I'm going to read you a little bit of history. But first we're going to do is the unboxing. Let's check out what tea was like back during the Boston Tea Party. Okay, I haven't looked at it yet, so one of these is a brick of tea, exactly how they used to sell them. They'd actually sell them in bricks. One is in a package that looks like the crate, at least it's similar. This one, oh, look at this. This is built like how they would have it packaged back a long time ago. So you can actually buy them in boxes like this, almost like you can say it's almost like the crates that they threw into the Boston Harbor. Or, this is the one I'm really excited about because I want to see exactly how they used to sell them as blocks, as bricks of tea. So this is a brick of tea. It doesn't look like a brick of tea. Let's go a little bit deeper in. Okay, let's get rid of some of this packaging. So, Boston Tea Party, think of it. You're back in the olden days. You come to Boston Harbor. You dress up as Native Americans, jump into a boat, and you go and board one of the big vessels that's carrying crates of this tea. Now, it could be in crates looking similar to this, but bigger. But inside, you get a brick of black tea. Yeah, they don't sell them in little pouches. That's something they came up with a lot later. So here, I'm questioning opening this. Might get everywhere, but I'm gonna keep going. Holy cow. It looks like a chocolate bar. It does. It is like a chocolate bar, but of tea. And they stamped it and everything. Holy cow. So this is a brick of tea. This is what they would have gotten back in the American Revolution. And let me see if I can show you this. It's actually stamped with different seals. Sorry, I went a little black. That's the seal that they put on this brick of tea. And when I said it was like chocolate, it's like chocolate. You can actually like break one of these off and I don't know, soak it? Smells just like tea. Okay, so these are the types of bricks they would have had back in the olden days, back in 300 years, 250 years ago, almost. So there's the brick of tea. This is black tea. Now, in here, there's a history. I'm going to read this one to you. So the history is this. A tea with a history. Centuries ago, the taxation of tea in the American colonies was one of the catalysts that helped spark the American War of Independence. Even though the tax on British-controlled tea stocks was not a substantial amount per household, this was one of the many taxes that occurred without proper consent over a span of several decades. Taxation without representation engulfed the colonies until there was no peaceful compromise to be realized. On December 16th, 1773, a group of colonial patriots, disguised as Mohawk Indians, boarded 3 English ships in Boston Harbor and threw the tea on board into the water to protest against the duty imposed on tax by the government of King George III. When the first first Tea Party, now remember, in Boston Tea Party, there was actually two different events when they threw tea into the harbor. When the first Boston Tea Party was over, hundreds of tea chests, much like this, were left floating in the rigid harbor waters. In the months that followed, many other seaports staged their own tea parties. On March 7th, 1774, at the second Boston Tea Party, 16 chests of fine tea from tea merchants David Newman and Company Limited of London were also dumped into the harbor in defiance of British policies. A replica copy of the original petition from Davison, Newman and Company to George King III requested compensation for their chests of tea thrown into Boston Harbor can be obtained at www.bostonharbortea.com. Okay, so they want you to go to their site. And I'm fine doing this because they provided us with a block of tea. And that's just so cool. Still in operation today, Britain's oldest tea merchant has developed this famous tea blend and offers it exclusively through the Mark T. Wendell Tea Company. Okay, so again, that's a little bit of publicity for them, but I can't. This is amazing. This is so cool that they would actually compress all that tea into a brick like this and then sell it like this. So you can almost like, you know, they like blocks of gold and they stack them. You can stack all of these high, and I'm guessing that they put them in packages similar to this and seal it up so that there's bricks like that. And then think of the big crate that they were in. They put all these blocks, bricks high, bricks wide, bricks long, put them in this crate, and then this thing is not light. This is compressed tea. So you're picking this up in a big crate. So you're gonna use like 2 or 3, maybe 4 people to lift one of those crates. Now again, I don't know how big the crates were, but if they were big, that's a lot of weight. And throwing that in the harbor. Now, as it said, there was only 16 the second time that went in. And before that, there was another load of, let's see, hundreds of tea chests. So the first time it was hundreds, the second time it was only 16 of these tea chests, which is probably why the Boston Harbor, or the Boston Tea Party, was considered the Boston Tea Party as of December 16th, 1773. And that was the bigger one. The other one was March 74, so right afterwards. And think of it, everyone that boarded those vessels